Camp Bil-O-Wood is in the heart of the Canadian wilderness, and it's expansive and basically untouched. And I think that that makes it so incredibly special.
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading camps and kids programs. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
I just think that Camp Bil-O-Wood has such wholesome values, and it's allowing kids to have the freedom to explore their world and their natural environment and take risks with a great deal of support around them from staff members and counselors so that they can find out what they're passionate about, or maybe they fall down and something doesn't go well, and they're supported to be resilient and work through hard things, whether it's on a canoe trip, which I highly value um, that experience for my children, or whether it's in the cabin when they're sweeping or cleaning up and navigating a conflict. Camp Bil-O-Wood is in the heart of the Canadian wilderness, and it's expansive and basically untouched. And I think that that makes it so incredibly special for campers to be able to take a hike and do an overnight canoe trip, or um, take some canoes and a couple hours away go on a trip on a river and a few lakes and not experience potentially another person. So to me, that's incredibly valuable, as well as the the togetherness of campers from ages 7 to 17. So you're going to see 17-year-olds getting to know an 8-year-old and asking about how their day is going, or being a friend to them if they're navigating feeling homesick today. And it's just a really special thing where younger campers are having such a wonderful model of an older camper or a counselor, and that kind of intergenerational approach, if you will, is a really unique thing in today's world. Yes, I have two children at camp, and they've been there for somewhere around 6 years now, and they choose to go back year after year. Even though some of the time they might have a couple of days at the beginning where they're navigating homesickness, or they encounter a challenge on a canoe trip, or a conflict in the cabin. The overarching theme is, we believe in you, and I know that you can work through this hard thing, and we're here to support you in doing that. And so I've seen my children's confidence continue to move up and continue to be able to navigate many things that come their way as teens and as they're moving into adulthood. They're exploring how to pursue a passion and how to be persistent through something that's challenging so that they can reach a greater goal. I think one of the really special things about Camp Bil-O-Wood is that the families who send their kids are really invested in having them specifically go to and experience Bil-O-Wood. It's a storied place that's been around for a long time, and there's a beautiful support structure between parents who have already sent campers and new parents and different communities throughout the country and even the world. And I think it's a really helpful thing for parents to be able to call up the directors, Paul and Tricia, and say, hey, can I talk through this? I'm worried about this for my kid, or how can I get some support in this way? Or, is there someone else that I could also talk with so that I'm able to navigate through my hesitancies? And so, as a parent who I actually was a camper myself, and also have been helping at camp and meeting with prospective families, as well as families that have sent their children for years or generations. And so it's just a wonderful community that really helps to bring a level of security to parents who are thinking, I'm sending my child to a different country, and it might be far away from home, and how's that going to work out? So, yeah. A good friend of mine, a parent of two teen young adults at this point, had turned to me a couple of summers ago at the end of camp, and she said, Lindsay, Camp Bil-O-Wood is the best parenting decision that I've ever made. And that is something I will never forget, because that resonated with me and put words into my mouth for exactly what I feel about Bil-O-Wood as well. I truly do believe that it is the best parenting decision that I could have ever made. And I do continue to encourage my kids to stay connected and to pursue being at camp, because I think it's such a valuable piece of their lives. And I'm so grateful that they've continued to choose to go back year after year, even though some of the time it might have required me helping them navigate through a bit of hesitancy, or a little bit of homesickness, or whatever may come their way, because that's part of life and it's normal. And every time they've chosen to go back, they have not once regretted a moment of being there. And have my son and I, who's now an 11th grader, in the car, he said, Mom, this summer it just made me really think about reevaluating some of my friendships back home, and really kind of thinking about the decisions I'm making and what's really important to me. And to me, like, that's a mature, valuable conversation. My children value Camp Bil-O-Wood as well. And I think they truly do know that that's the place that they want to be in the summers. They're choosing to be away from friends and activities that are happening here at home, at least for a portion of the summer, whether a child chooses to go or with their parents for 2 weeks, or whether they stay for 7. They are missing out on some things back home. But I think that every year, as we get closer to camp approaching, they are starting to get really excited to see their friends at Camp Bil-O-Wood again, because those campers go back year after year, and their families are part of it year after year. And so they end up having almost this feeling of a second home, with a great deal of support. If you're thinking about sending your child to Camp Bil-O-Wood, I would highly encourage you to pursue it. Even if you decide that you want to take a year or two, or your child is not even of age to be a camper yet, having those conversations now, talking to other families, reaching out to Paul and Tricia, the directors, reaching out to a parent, it's worth doing, because you will experience such valuable life change for your child.
For more information about this program, you can visit their profile at OurKids.net.